He was humanity's greatest dragon hunter, however, he was betrayed by his companion and ended up captured. Just when he thought it was the end, he became the husband of the Dragon Queen, and on top of that had a daughter with her. The Dragon Clan is the most powerful race on the continent of Samael. They control ancient magic, and despite being few in number, they are incredibly strong, humanity's greatest enemies. No one remembers exactly how this war began, but the slaughter between humans and dragons has been going on for hundreds of years. After so many sacrifices on both sides, neither is willing to back down. Currently, humanity's greatest dragon hunter, Leon, leads a mission to exterminate the Silver Dragon Clan, as the Dragon Queen, Roswasa, is considered humanity's greatest enemy. However, something goes wrong. Leon is betrayed by his own comrades and becomes a prisoner of the Dragon Nation, locked away in the dungeon of the Silver Dragons. Time passes and the Demon Queen decides to visit the hero. Upon arriving, she says she wants to speak with the prisoner alone. She approaches and asks how he feels about becoming a prisoner of the Dragon Clan. Leon ignores her and demands that she finish him off already. She replies, "Oh? You want me to grant you a quick death? Unfortunately, it won't be that easy." Then, with a smirk, she adds, "Not only are you handsome, but you're also a very brave man." She then marks a scar on his face and says, "If I add more scars, you'll be perfect." Leon grits his teeth and responds, "Stop humiliating me. If you're going to kill me, do it quickly." With a sadistic expression, she taunts, "You're really strong. If you hadn't been betrayed, you wouldn't be in this situation." Then finally, she makes him an offer. Join the Silver Dragon Clan. Leon scoffs and asks, "Are you even worthy?" Immediately enraging her, she strikes him, sending him flying, then steps on him and demands, "How dare a mere prisoner disrespect me? Leon, do you still think you're humanity's great hero? Do you still dream of destroying the Dragon Clan and being remembered forever? Wake up, you're going to live here because that day will never come." Leon glares at her and says, "Roswasa, don't underestimate humans." She wraps her tail around his neck, lifting him off the ground. "You're quite stubborn, aren't you?" She sneers, tightening her grip. Struggling for breath, Leon mutters, "Your Majesty." Hearing that, she is momentarily surprised and asks if he's finally begging for mercy. However, Leon remains resolute and tells her she made 2 mistakes. Intrigued, she asks, "Oh? And what might those be?" Leon smirks and says, "First, you should never have been alone with the most powerful dragon slayer ever trained, and second, you should never have tasted my blood." At that moment, Leon's eyes turn crimson and he casts a blood curse spell. Roswasa instinctively lets go, confusion spreading across her face. "What? Is this heat?" she wonders. Her legs grow weak and she struggles to remain standing. "What's happening to my body? What the hell is this?" Leon, standing before her, declares, "Your Majesty, you will now live with a pain that will haunt your very soul for the rest of your life." Her face flushes red as she loses control, suddenly lunging at him. Pinning him down, she stares intensely into his eyes. Leon, taken aback, thinks, "Don't tell me. Is she getting aroused?" Before he can react, she kisses him, shocking him. Time passes. On the floor, the only thing left behind is their discarded clothing. As reality sets in, Roswasa finally regains her senses. Horrified at her state, she turns to Leon and demands, "What the hell did you do to me?" Leon calmly explains, "The blood curse is a forbidden technique that can only be used once in a lifetime. When you tasted my blood, a bond was created between our souls. In other words, when I die, the curse will inflict eternal pain upon you." Roswasa scoffs. "That makes no sense. If the spell activates upon your death, then why did this happen to me?" Leon sighs. "That was an accident. I thought the pain caused by my death would be the spell's only manifestation. I didn't expect the side effect to make you—" "Shut up!" she snaps, cutting him off. Leon chuckles. "As far as I know, you dragons follow the rule of monogamy, don't you? After my death, the great Dragon Queen won't just be unable to find another mate, she won't even be able to produce an heir. And to top it all off, how will you explain this to the Dragon Clan? The effects of this curse have exceeded my expectation." Roswasa, furious, lunges at him again. Leon simply smirks. "Do you want to kill me?" he taunts. "Your Majesty, you don't have to. I'm already dying." With a cruel smile, he delivers his final words. "Live on, hating me. Suffer for all eternity. That is my curse upon you as a human." Time passed, and Roswasa was lost in thought. She then spoke. "You're just a human, taking revenge on me in such a despicable way, and now you're just gonna die? As if I'd let you off so easily." The Dragon Queen then cast a spell on him. Leon Cosmod was a legendary dragon slayer. At the age of 5, he killed his neighbor's fierce dog with his bare hands. He was stopped by a passing dragon slayer who then took him in as his apprentice. By the age of 10, he entered the Imperial Dragon Slayer Academy for advanced studies, and 4 years later he graduated as the youngest cadet in history, earning the highest evaluation ever recorded. At 15, he set foot on the battlefield, slaying countless dragons, reclaiming lost territories, and achieving numerous military victories for the Empire. Known as the strongest dragon slayer, Leon was humanity's only hope of leading the Empire to victory and ending the war, until he became a prisoner of the Dragon Clan. 2 long years had passed since Leon was captured. Finally, he woke up. Gasping for air, he sat up and looked around, confused. "Where am I?" Just then, someone entered the room. It was a young girl. Surprised, she exclaimed, "Oh, you're awake?" Leon stared at the child, thinking she was incredibly cute. Placing a hand on his face, he murmured, "So this is how it is. I think I'm starting to understand. I must have made such a great contribution to humanity that I've been allowed to ascend to heaven. And you? You must be a legendary angel." The little girl tilted her head. "What's that?" Leon chuckled and stepped closer. "Hello, little angel. What's your name?" With excitement, she answered, "Win!" Leon smiled. "That's a lovely name." However, something about her caught his attention. Why is her hair color so strange? Her hair was a mix of black and white. Muin then said, "Mom told me my name means..." Leon blinked in surprise. Angels have mothers? Deciding to introduce himself, he said, "My name is Leon. Leon Cosmod." To his surprise, she nodded. "I know. Leon means lion." Leon froze. You know that?" He felt an uneasy chill run down his spine. "Who told you?" A creeping suspicion filled his mind. "No way." Taking a deep breath, he cautiously asked, "Can I know who your mother is?" Muin smiled. "My mom's name is Roswasa." Leon's entire body stiffened. "Wait, your mother is Roswasa? Does that mean..." Muin tilted her head and answered innocently, "You're my daddy." Leon's mind went blank. "Father, you're saying that this child is mine and Roswasa's?" Muin turned toward the doorway. "Mommy?" Leon immediately followed her gaze. Muin ran toward the approaching figure, excitedly exclaiming, "Mommy!" Daddy woke up. Roswasa, standing tall, glanced at him with an amused smirk. "So, you've finally woken up, Leon?" Muin beamed. "Mommy, you must be so happy. You visited him every single day." Roswasa let out a sarcastic laugh. "That's right." Leon, however, thought, only a lunatic would believe that. Roswasa then instructed, "Muin, go play outside for a bit. I need to talk to your father." Once Muin left, Leon immediately asked, "Muin, is she really my daughter?" Roswasa scoffed. "Oh? Isn't it obvious? She's our biological child." Leon's voice rose in frustration. "You hate me. Why did you give birth to a child? And why did you save me?" Roswasa's gaze darkened. "You slept for 2 years. Do you really think I'd just let you go after what you did to me back then?" Leon clenched his fists. "What was I supposed to do? We're different. We can't coexist. If things had been different, I would have never laid a hand on you." Roswasa's expression sharpened. "Touching me was torture for you." "Of course it was!" Leon snapped. Roswasa's tail suddenly coiled around his leg, yanking him onto the bed. He struggled. "What are you doing?" She smirked. "I just want to place my dragon mark on you." "Stop this!" Leon protested, but Roswasa only chuckled darkly. "This will be your disgrace. From now on, you'll be my prisoner." She leaned in and whispered, "When your fellow humans see the dragon mark on your body, what do you think they'll say? Will they still see you as the great dragon-slaying hero? Or a traitor who surrendered to the Dragon Clan?" Leon gritted his teeth. "Why are you going this far?" Roswasa's eyes gleamed with cold amusement. "You still don't understand, Leon? I want you to live with this shame. I want to humiliate you completely for the rest of your life." The concept of vengeance among dragons had long been an enigma to human scholars. Their form of revenge was an inhuman mix of paranoia and extremism, something beyond human comprehension. And for the queen of the silver dragons, Roswasa, nothing was more gratifying than turning humanity's greatest dragon slayer into her prisoner, and in a way, her closest partner. She then approached his face and said, "Let's begin." It was morning in the Silver Dragon Castle. One of the maids commented that the queen was in a good mood today, and another replied, "You didn't know? Her husband woke up from his coma?" Leon was hiding behind a wall. "Damn, that dragon queen announced to the public that I'm her husband? Do you guys have any idea how terrifying that woman is?" Then he remembered what happened the night before. "She squeezed me for an entire day and night. My waist is about to break." Determined, he declared, "I, Leon, will never stay here and become her plaything." Observing the guards, he noted 4 of them stationed at the side gate, making it impossible to escape through there. He began to reflect, wondering why there were so few guards in the Silver Dragon Castle today. It was completely different from when he first arrived 2 years ago. It was eerily silent. Then he noticed something. There was a hole beneath the wall. Could this be a trap? He wondered. But this wasn't the time to overthink. He had to get out no matter what. Even if it was a trap, he would force his way through. As he crawled through the hole, he thought, "Goodbye, perverted dragon queen. As for the little dragon girl, Muin, she's cute, but you can keep her." Leon tried to flee the castle. Muin then noticed and said, "Mommy, look, Daddy is digging a hole like a dog. That's so cool." Roswasa smirked. "I can see how amazing he is." Muin then asked, "When are you going to fish him back?" Roswasa approached her and gently corrected, "Muin, you shouldn't say fish him back when referring to your father. That's rude." "So what word should I use?" Muin asked. Her mother smiled. "Bring him back." Sometime later, Leon was running through the wilderness. "Once I climb these mountains, I'll reach the borders of human territory," he thought. Looking back, he reassured himself. After running this far, the Dragon Queen shouldn't be able to catch up, right? Just then, he heard a noise. Looking up at the sky, there she was. "You're quite the runner, Leon," Roswasa said. He froze in fear and started running again, but she caught up effortlessly. "So, playing with me like this is fun for you, huh?" he muttered. She sighed. "I'm very disappointed. Didn't you think it was a little too easy? Who do you think helped you avoid the guards and left that hole for you to escape?" Even knowing it was her trap, He had no other choice. He just hadn't expected her to catch him so quickly. Roswasa then asked, "What do you think will happen if you return to human territory now? You already have my mark on your chest. Do you really think they'll still recognize you as a dragon slayer?" "I'll start a new life as an ordinary person. That's better than being tortured by you." "Tortured?" she snapped, clearly irritated. "You really don't know how to appreciate kindness." She grabbed him, and he struggled. "Let me go." "Where are you taking me?" she smirked. "Since you want to go back to the humans so badly, I'll help you." 3 hours later, she let go of him. He crashed through tree branches and landed face first on the ground. "Ow, that hurt," he groaned. Then, he looked up and saw something. A human city? He couldn't believe his eyes. "This is the human empire," Roswasa stated. Looking at the city, she asked, "Do you feel like you can return to the human world just by stepping into it?" "Leon, you can't go back, even though it's right in front of you." Suddenly, the mark on Leon's chest began to glow. "Oh, I forgot to mention," she said with a sly smile. "When someone with the dragon's mark wants to get intimate with another, the mark reacts." She stepped closer to him. "Right now, you must be feeling your whole body heating up, desperate to start, unable to hold back. Isn't that right?" Leon hesitated. "You want to do it? Here?" She nodded. "Of course. Do you know why I brought you here?" She leaned in, her voice almost a whisper. "I want you to understand what true humiliation is, right in front of your hometown." "You think I'll break because of this?" Leon said through gritted teeth. "I'll wait patiently for my opportunity. I'll return every humiliation you've inflicted on me." Roswasa was momentarily speechless before she smirked. Pinning him against the wall, she whispered, "I'll be waiting for you, dead or alive." Later, back at the castle, the Dragon Queen was getting dressed. She turned to him and said, "I'm very satisfied with your performance just now." Leon lay on the floor, crying. She then asked, "How about I bring you here every month so you can visit your hometown?" Leon grew irritated. "You're a Dragon Queen, with your head in the clouds. Always thinking about how to drain me. I wouldn't mind getting drained by this Dragon Queen too, guys." She chuckled. "So you've seen right through me." As she prepared to leave, she added, "Come on, our daughter is waiting for us at home." "Wait," Leon suddenly said, surprising her. "As a dragon slayer, I can't let myself be caught like prey. Besides, I can walk on my own." She raised an eyebrow. "It takes at least 3 hours to fly back to the Silver Castle at my speed. For a human on foot, it would take at least 10 days, maybe half a month." Leon crossed his arms. "So what? It's just 10 days or half a month. Don't underestimate human endurance." She smirked. "I'd love to see how long you can last." After some time, Leon was completely exhausted. Roswasa glanced at him. "Can't walk anymore? If you ask me nicely." "I'm not tired," he interrupted. She smirked. "Better to prove it than to say it." Hearing that, he grew irritated. Then, they spotted something in the distance. An army of dragon slayers. Leon immediately felt relieved. These guys might actually help me get rid of this dragon. However, when he noticed Roswasa's expression darken, he quickly changed his mind. "If I ask for help, she'll kill them all without hesitation." One of the knights noticed them and approached. "Are you two lost?" Leon quickly replied, "No, we're just out for a stroll." As he thought about not dragging innocent people into this, the knight added, "This forest isn't a good place for a casual walk. There are many dangerous creatures and wild beasts." Then he offered, "How about I give you two a ride?" Introducing himself, he said, "My name is Walker, captain of the 47th Squadron of the Imperial Dragon Slayer Army." Leon nodded, grateful but cautious. "Thanks for your kindness, but we've learned some self-defense so we can handle ourselves." Inside, he was praying, "Please don't come any closer." Walker squinted. "You look familiar. Have we met before?" The moment those words left his mouth, Roswasa tensed up. Leon noticed she was already channeling a spell. "This is bad?" Without thinking, he grabbed her hand and pulled her close. "You must be mistaken," Leon said smoothly. "I have one of those faces that people always confuse with someone else." Then, turning to Roswasa, he added, "Isn't that right, dear? My wife used to mistake me for other people all the time." He then whispered in her ear, "I'll go back to the palace with you willingly. Just let me handle this first." Playing along, they acted like a deeply affectionate couple. Walker, seeing the display, chuckled. "I won't disturb your date then. Take care." As the soldiers left, Roswasa turned to Leon. "Have you hugged me enough now?" He immediately flinched and let go. She sighed. "Leon, you were smart not to ask them for help, but just one thing." Her eyes locked onto his. "You need to know your place. Just because we have a daughter doesn't mean I'm your wife." Leon scoffed. "I never thought of myself as your husband." She turned away. "Come on, we still have a long way to go." As they continued walking, Leon suddenly felt a sharp pain. His vision blurred, and before he knew it, he collapsed. Roswasa looked down at him with an arrogant smirk. "Did you just faint? How fragile." Without hesitation, she picked him up and threw him over her back. As she flew, she muttered, "Fine, I'll take this as a plea for mercy." The next morning, Leon finally woke up. Beside him, his daughter beamed. "Daddy, you're awake!" Sitting up, he groggily asked, "How did I get back here?" Muin grinned. "Mommy brought you back!" Leon groaned. "Damn it, she finally caught me like prey." As he imagined what had happened, he noticed his hand was bandaged. "I did that for you, Daddy," Muin proudly declared. Leon was stunned. Experts always said dragons were a fierce race, raised in violence and bloodshed from birth. And yet, despite having such obvious dragon traits, Muin had no hostility toward him. She treated him completely like her father. Is it because she's a hybrid? He reached out and placed a hand on her head. Muin's face lit up with satisfaction. Leon chuckled. Muin, you're really cute, but when you grow up, you shouldn't be like your mother. Muin tilted her head in confusion. Then, what's wrong with being like me? Leon flinched, breaking into a cold sweat. Turning around, he saw Roswasa standing there. Panicking, he quickly waved his hands. Nothing. Nothing at all. Muin turned to her mother. Mommy, I wrapped up Daddy's wound just like you told me to. Roswasa nodded. That's exactly how you should have done it. Leon sighed. She's really strict. Then, he looked at Muin and said, Hey, why don't you go hide in the garden? I'll count to 100, then I'll come find you, okay? She then becomes happy and asks if he's serious and if Daddy really wants to play hide and seek with her. He replies, I'm not like your mother, go quickly. Leon then starts counting and she runs off, asking him not to count too fast. As soon as she leaves, he turns to Roswasa and says, Hey, I'm talking to you? She asks what it is, and he says, Don't you think you're being too harsh on the child? She then sits down and replies, We dragons have to go through this. Only by being strict with our children from an early age can we raise strong warriors. Leon questions her, saying that she isn't fully a dragon, and besides, she's quite gentle. He asks, Can you understand that? Roswasa responds, She is a dragon, and gentle is a derogatory term for a dragon. Hearing that, Leon says, You're pretty cute when you want to be too. Immediately she gets irritated, grabs him by the collar, and says, You are just a servant for me to vent my anger on, so stop throwing yourself at me. Leon then makes a sad puppy face, and upon seeing his expression, she says, Good. I am the queen of the silver dragons. I have many governmental affairs to handle, so the task of taking care of that child will be yours, as our daughter likes you very much. The scene then cuts to the garden where Leon is grumbling, saying, I'm the queen of dragons, I'm too busy, as if dragon slayers were supposed to take care of children. Then he notices a silhouette and thinks, Muin, you're still too naive. Do you really think I won't find you if you hide behind me? He then points at her and says, Found you, Muin. The atmosphere becomes slightly awkward and he wonders, Is this girl mad at me? She just stares at him without reacting. Leon then breaks the silence and says, Muin, I'm sorry for making you wait. Before he can finish speaking, she runs off. Concerned, Leon asks what's wrong and why she is running. He then starts searching for her, thinking how difficult it is to predict a child's mood. No wonder Roswasa left me in charge of her, he muses. Muin then spots him, runs toward him, and hugs him, exclaiming, Muin got Daddy. Leon asks, Muin, but didn't you just run past me? She looks at him confused and says no, adding that Daddy couldn't find Muin, so she went looking for him instead. Leon then wonders if he saw wrong. Muin starts pulling him, saying there's something she wants to show him. However, another child is staring at him with a serious expression. Oh boy, twin. The scene cuts to another location where Muin is drawing. Leon looks at her feeling happy, thinking that having a daughter isn't so bad after all, that it even feels like his soul is being healed. Sooner or later, Daddy will help you escape your dragon mother's grasp. Excited, Muin runs toward him, saying she drew a family portrait. Leon smiles and says, Muin, you're amazing. You really are Daddy's daughter. But then he notices something and, surprised, asks why there are two children in the drawing. Muin responds that it's her sister. Leon is left completely shocked, realizing that he has not one but two daughters, and they're twins. The child I saw earlier in the garden must have been her, and I called her by the wrong name. No wonder she was upset, he thinks. Muin, however, says she doesn't think her sister was mad. She was just a little shy when she saw Daddy. Leon stops to think and realizes that they haven't actually met yet, so it's normal for them not to be familiar with each other. This is all that woman's fault for hiding it from me, he grumbles. I need to ask her the truth. The scene then cuts to Roswasa's office. She hears something and then sees Leon storming in, calling for her. Roswasa asks, Where's Muin? He replies, She's playing with her sister. Speaking of which, you're really good at keeping secrets. When were you going to tell me I had another daughter? She asks, Didn't you already know? Annoyed, he responds, I should thank you. Giving birth is already hard enough, and I didn't expect you to give birth to two for me. You must have worked really hard. When I return to the Empire someday, I will definitely write your name in our family tree. Roswasa then gets serious and asks if he wants to know why she never told him about their other daughter. He asks why. She smirks and says, Because I was jealous of how close you are with Muin, so I deliberately didn't let Noah know who her father was. She then asks, Are you that eager to meet her? And he replies, What nonsense. Who wouldn't want to meet their own daughter? I'm not like you, a cold and strict mother. I want to build a good relationship with them. She then gives him a smug look and says, All right, just don't regret it later. The scene then cuts to the kitchen. Leon is holding a knife with a terrifying expression, muttering Roswasa's name. However, he's just cooking, saying, I'll make our dragon lady regret today. Leon's first step to winning over his shy daughter, food. Honestly, telling the truth works with me too, huh? He thinks. He remembers how he used to make this creamy stew frequently in the battalion, and everyone who tried it said it was delicious. The sweet flavor should also be perfect for kids. Leon tastes the stew and says, Not bad. My cooking skills aren't rusty at all. This flavor will definitely win over no. The maids look at him in admiration and one of them whispers, The prince just recovered from a serious illness, and yet he's cooking for his family. He truly is a good dragon who cares about them. The other maid then notices something. Roswasa has arrived with the children. She tells the others, You don't need to wait for dinner orders tonight. You can go rest for a while. They thank her and leave. Roswasa then enters the room and Leon says, "You all arrived just in time." Muin walks up to him, sniffing the air. "Smells so good, Daddy." Leon smiles and says, "I heard you two love meat, so I made this beef stew especially for you." He then thinks to himself, "Noah, can you smell Daddy's feelings?" However, when he looks at her, she turns away with a disgusted expression, leaving him completely stunned. Why is this different from what I imagine? He wonders. Did that Dragon Queen foresee this and deliberately stop me from meeting Noah? Roswasa then calls Noah over and says, "This is your first formal meeting with your father. Introduce yourself." Noah nods. "Yes, mother." She then walks up to Leon and says, "I am Noah Melkiv, daughter of the silver dragon Roswasa. I am 1 year and 2 months old. Apparently dragons are an immortal race, and dragon babies grow faster than human children." Leon greets her back and says, "My name is Leon Cosmod and I am your father. The second step to getting closer to your daughter. Say hello politely and make a good first impression." Noah remains expressionless, completely uninterested. Leon wonders, why is this child so cold? Does she hold some kind of grudge against me? Muin approaches her sister and whispers, "Please say more. Don't embarrass Daddy." Noah then asks, "He looks so weak. Is he really our father?" Leon takes a critical hit to his pride. My daughter is a real rebel. At this moment, Leon's journey as a father faces its first crisis.